second graders, Miss Uriel here with Module 8, Lesson 16, which is your last lesson of second grade math. Yay! I'm so proud of you guys. You did amazing. So today we're still working with time, but we're going to figure out elapsed time, which means we're going to figure out how much time goes by from like one time to another time. Alright, so we're going to be doing some different word problems. We're going to be working with our clocks a little bit if you have yours at home. And you're going to want paper or something to write with so that we can figure out these problems together. Ready? Alright, let's get started with subtracting. Again, you can solve these whichever way works best for you. It might be with a place value chart that might look like this. Or you can use vertical method. Or you can use the arrow way. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to show you the problem. I want you to pause and solve it, and then we'll go over it together. So the first problem is 600 minus 356. So pause and solve that on your own, and we'll go back and go over together. Alright, so I'm going to do mine vertical way, but any way that worked for you is good for me. So when I'm looking at this problem, I know it's subtraction. We're always starting in our ones place. What I'm noticing right away is there's 0 ones and 0 tens. So I'm not going to be able to do anything until I unbundle this 100. So when I unbundle this 100, this 600 becomes 500. Now I can't just bring it over to the ones place automatically. So I got to put it in my tens place first. Then that 10, I take 1 10 away, that's 1 10 becomes a 9, and this 0 ones becomes 10 ones. So now I can subtract 10 ones minus 6 ones, gives me 4 ones, 9 tens minus 5 tens, gives me 4 tens, 5 hundreds minus 3 hundreds gives me 200. So your answer should be 244. Thumbs up? Good. Alright, try this one. Same thing, pause and solve in the way that works best for you, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so I'm going to do vertical method again. What I'm noticing right away is that my 8 is bigger than my 6, so I can't take 8 away from 6. So I'm going to have to borrow. I can't unbundle from my tens place, so I'm going to have to unbundle all the way over from my hundreds place. That 100 becomes 300s. This is automatically, I'm just going to turn it to 9 because I know I'm going to have to borrow a 10 to turn that into 16 ones. Now I'm going to subtract 16 minus 8. It's going to give me 8. 9 tens minus 1 10 is going to give me 8 tens. 3 tens minus 2 tens is going to give me 1 10. It's going to be 188. Alright, let's try the next one. 507 minus 269. So go ahead and try that on your own. Pause and solve, and we'll do it together. Alright, so right away I'm noticing I have a bigger number in my part, so I'm not going to be able to subtract. So I'm going to have to unbundle. I don't have any tens, so I'm going to unbundle my hundreds to get 4 hundreds. I'm automatically just going to turn this into a 9, and then I'm going to add my 10 ones here and get 17 ones. 17 ones minus 9 ones gives me 8 ones. 9 tens minus 6 tens gives me 3 tens. 4 hundreds minus 2 hundreds gives me 200s. We end up with 238. Just an important skill to keep in our brains as we start moving on to third grade. Alright, let's move on to our application problem. On Saturday, Jean may only watch cartoons for 1 hour. Before we move on, how many minutes are in 1 hour? If we go all the way around the clock, how many minutes have passed? Good, 60 minutes. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget it. Her first cartoon lasts 14 minutes. The second lasts 28 minutes. After a 5-minute cartoon, after a 5-minute break, she watches a 15-minute cartoon. How much time does Jean spend watching cartoons? So I'm going to write these numbers down. Her first one lasts 14 minutes. The second is 28 minutes. She takes a 5-minute break and then watches a 15-minute cartoon. So how many minutes does she spend watching cartoons? Whoop. Here is my number sentence for that. I know I'm going to have to add all of these together. So I'm going to start by adding numbers that I know that can make 10, and I'll go, or make an even 10 and go from there. So what I want you to do is pause and solve and figure out how many minutes she spends watching cartoons. Good. She's going to spend 57 minutes watching cartoons. Thumbs up if you got that. Nice job. Now, did she break her time limit? Her time limit was 1 hour, or 60 minutes. She watched cartoons for 57 minutes. Did she break her time limit? No, right? How much time did she have left over? 3 minutes. Awesome job. Ooh. All right. What we're going to talk about today is elapsed time, meaning how much time it takes to go from one time to the next. So here's a word problem to get us thinking. Kalpana gets up at 7 a.m. She leaves the house at 7:30. How long does it take her to get ready? So she's here at 7 a.m. and then time goes by, time elapses, and it becomes 7:30. How long does it take her to get ready? How many minutes? Go 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. Awesome job. Or half an hour. Good. Okay, try this one. Tony goes bowling at Saturday at 2 p.m. What does p.m. mean again? Good. Afternoon. He gets home at 9 p.m. How long does he stay out? So he leaves at 2, he gets home at 9. So 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. 7 hours. 9 minus 2, 7 hours. All right, let's try this one. Students arrive at the museum at 10 o'clock a.m. Is that in the morning or the afternoon? Morning. Very good. I'm going to set my clock to that time. And they leave at 2 p.m. That's a nice long field trip. How long were they at the museum? So this is going to get a little tricky because we can't just subtract 10 from 2 because we're crossing over this way. Our clock is going from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is show it on my clock. So I have 10 o'clock, 1 hour goes by, 11 o'clock. 2 hours go by, 12 o'clock. 3 hours go by, 1 o'clock. 4 hours go by, 2 o'clock. Another way to think of it is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. How many hours went by? 4 hours. It's 2 hours to noon, and then 2 hours afternoon. They were at the museum for 4 hours. Good job. All right, this one's a little bit different. The movie starts at 11:30 a.m. Is that in the morning or the afternoon? Morning, good. And it finishes at 1:30 p.m. How long does the movie last? So if we're at 11:30, how long do we need to get to 12 o'clock noon? How much time do we need to get to 12 o'clock noon? Just 30 minutes. So I'm going to write that time now. So it's 30 minutes till noon. And now we're at noon. So we're at noon. And then how many minutes to get to 1:30? Well, we need 1 hour to 1 o'clock. And then 30 minutes to 1:30. So 1 hour and 30. So I know that 30 plus 30 is going to get me 60, which equals 1 hour. So I'm going to add 1 hour plus 1 hour, and it's going to get me 2 hours. Another way to think of it is to go 11:30, 12:30, 1:30 is 2 hours. Awesome. All right. Woo, this one's a little bit trickier. Beth goes to bed at 8 o'clock p.m. She wakes up at 3:30 a.m. to go to the airport. How much time does she sleep? Let's start by going from 8 p.m. to noon. So 8, 9, 10, to midnight. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 hours, so I'm going to pause there. Okay, and then she has to wake up at 3:30 a.m., so that's after midnight. So we're going to go 12, midnight, 1, 2, 3. That's another 3 hours. Then, from there, she has to wake up at 3:30, so she wakes up another 30 minutes. So it's going to be 7 hours, 30 minutes. 4 hours, 3 hours, and 30 minutes is going to be 7 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? What you're going to do on your problem set today is determine different time that was elapsed. So they're going to give you 2 times. You have to tell me how much time has gone by. You can use the clock, you can count on, but make sure when you're counting on, when you hit midnight or you hit noon, you start over at 12, 1, 2 from there. Okay? That's the only trick you got to make sure of. And that's it for today. Great job with your math all year, and I will see you soon.